What does e-procurement mean to you?
E-procurement is a transaction between two companies, a supplier and a buyer, where one of them uses informatics or internet applications.
Okay, and which e-procurement tools do you know? Like, which ones have you used?
Well, I've used Oracle and SAP Supply Chain Management and ERP, which are very famous around the globe, but I've never had the opportunity to use them. To get suppliers, I've used Amazon and Azure Materials, which is a website that lets you search every type of material, its properties, characteristics, and find suppliers. But if any interest tool could be considered as an e-procurement application, I've also used Skype, Gmail, and other Google platforms such as Google Drive.
Okay, so do you think there's a relationship between the sector and the type of e-procurement tools that our industry uses?
Yes, I think that the sector is very influential, not only in the type of e-procurement tool that a company uses, but its effectiveness and the impact that this tool could really have. There are sectors where companies usually have loads of suppliers that bring raw materials continuously. They have to make a lot of effort to manage arrivals, expeditions of orders, and doing quality control. For this type of companies, they use an e-procurement software could be very helpful. Could reduce time, costs, and accelerate the process of establishing long-term relationships between suppliers. And this is one of the major goals of supply chain cooperation.
Okay, for the fourth question, do you think that implementing e-procurement benefits any type of company, or can you think of one type of business or sector where e-procurement could bring disadvantages?
I think that there is not a place where e-procurement tool could bring disadvantages. I mean, if you can afford the tool and know how to use them, they will always help your company to work better, faster, and reduce cost. I don't think of any scenario where this could be considered as a disadvantage.
Okay, and the fifth question, how would you define supply chain integration? What benefits does it have?
Supply chain integration for me is when all the members of supply chain work together in order to achieve better results, but not in individual terms, but in the way that they provide a better product to the final customers, which the best overall efficiency. This could be better, maybe not in the short term, but in the long term, because when clients get better products, the market share increases and every enterprise in the supply chain sells more. But also the benefits could be seen in the short term. Why not? Because the integration and cooperation reduces lead times, cycles, quickness and response, and also the cost.
Okay, and what do you think is the impact of pre-procurement tools in supply chain integration?
I think that e-procurement tools are essentials to the integration of supply chains. Nowadays, providers are located in opposite parts of the world, and it could be impossible to establish long-term relationships with them without the use of internet.
Okay, and what do you think is more prevalent? The use of less integrative e-procurement applications or the use of e-procurement applications that facilitate integration across departments and or firms, and why?
I think that the use of less integration apps is more prevalent, and this is pretty much a question of the cost that more integrate tools have, and also because they are harder to use, so the personnel has to be trained in order to implement them.
If you use a procurement tool in the company that you work for, what do you use it for, like from this list of options?
Well, we use e-procurement tools basically for looking at providers' web pages, catalogs, and to search cheaper suppliers.
Okay, I understand. And last, what factors do you think impulse a company to start using e-procurement applications? And what factors do you think keep them from using them?
I think that e-procurement applications have so many advantages, and because of that, they are very appealing for every company. But maybe they don't implement the tool very often because some of them are very expensive. not only the purchase or adapt to the enterprise, but also to train the personnel to use them.